us. Remember, new episodes premiere every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8 p.m. on TV 15 and across other social media platforms.
I'm Jasenia Lassiter, wishing you a wonderful week.
Stay friendly, St. Martin.
Welcome to Late Night Show. Hope everything is okay. Hope everything is all right. I'm your host, Andrew Dick. Okie dokie kids, what's happening on the lovely Isle of St. Martin? We begin with the news of the formation process. It's still ongoing. The 21st of September is the time where the new members of Parliament will be taking the oath. So I know everybody is still sitting back, waiting to see the nail biter of who's going to be a minister, who's not going to be a minister, who's going to pass screening, who's not going to pass screening. Everybody wants to know who's going to be the next Minister of Justice. Now, I had a chance to speak to the leader of the SAM party, that's, of course, Mr. Franklin Myers. Yes, Frankie Myers. I asked him the question of who will be the Minister of Justice. It seems like there is an issue. Who's going to be the minister, Frankie? Why isn't anybody saying anything from the SAM? The SAM promised to be transparent and open and tell us every single thing that is happening when it comes to party and governing. They're going to do things different. They're not going to be like other parties and be quiet and just hide behind the fact that they don't need to speak to the people that voted for them to be there because they got one seat. Don't be ungrateful now, Frankie. So please, Frankie, tell us who is going to be your Minister of Justice?
If you really want to go down that road, prepare for it. I just respect everybody. I try to make jokes with everybody. But don't start to go down that road. Don't play with me, boy. Know your place.
You serious, Frankie? That's all you're going to tell me? Know my place? But, Frankie, no, seriously. You cannot expect for the electorate to respect what the SAM stands for if you're not going to tell us exactly what is happening when it comes to selecting a Minister of Justice. Is it going to be you? Is it going to be Tamara? Is it going to be Nzinga? Is it going to be Cecile? Who is going to be the next minister? Will it be Chacho? Because you know, that is his dream while he grew up in Aruba. I go know my place. The man said, don't play with me, boy. I don't understand. Frankie, you got to find another soundbite. You got to find something else. Anyway, yes. We don't know if it's going to be Tamara, but I know for sure that people will be looking closely at the SAM party, right? For sure, we know that it ain't going to be Batman, so we could move on past that. In other news, garbage. What is going on when it comes to garbage on the island? The Minister of Romy, Patrice Gomes, and Rian Peterson, decided to address the issue during the Council of Ministers press briefing, where he talked a little bit about people and their garbage. And I kind of understood where he came from. So take a listen to it, and then you'll hear my little comments after.
For every 3 days of garbage, we kind of go through at least, I would say, about maybe half of, maybe about a football length of the dump is used for, in 3 days. So we have a situation here where the length of the dump is most probably much closer than we actually think it will be. And that's why, for example, we need to look at something more sustainable from a government point of view in terms of recycling, in terms of circular economy. I think it goes back to the fact, of course, of just 2 weeks ago, I signed into law, so to speak, the Waste Authority, which basically is going to look at how we manage our waste going forward more sustainably. One of the key things toward this, and it's not very popular, but we may actually have to reach the point where we start looking at how we charge for the use and disposal of garbage. Because as we know, every sort of incidence of tax is a deterrent. It's also about how we use the landfill more efficiently. Currently, there's a management system of basically we bring in trash and we cover it with dirt. And then we keep piling and piling and piling. Structurally, as many people know, the dump also has some issues around its integrity. It's actually reaching to the point where parts of it are threats to fall in and collapse upon itself. So it's really a comprehensive approach to not only necessarily getting rid of the dump, but also to, at the local ground person level, at the you and me level, how do we address waste from a point of view of paying for it, as well as how we can use waste more sustainably as well. I'm actually planning to have a meeting with the NRPB regarding the landfill, because there, as much as we still want to maintain and organize what is there, there is still incoming amounts of waste, as well as illegal dumping of waste material, which shouldn't be at a dump. And also, too, goes back to the fact of there are many people who are dumping illegal construction material alongside the public roads. So again, it goes back to government has a role to guide where we go policy-wise, but that policy can only be supported if we look at our practices individually. So I call on everybody because, you know, I live in Mary's Fancy, and just the other day I was down the hill, and the big bin says, no dumping of household appliances, and right in the big bin was a washing machine. So now government has to take this washing machine and put it on the dump by the haulers, and then when that causes a problem, everyone turns to government, forgetting that it wasn't government who put the washing machine in the bin, it was the individual. So it really has to be a sort of concerted effort to look at how we contribute to the problem that we also have on the dump, but government's responsibility to see now how we can manage and move forward more sustainably.
So, you know, for some reason, you know, St. Martin people, and I understand where the concern might come if St. Martin decides to introduce a garbage tax, because you're going to think to yourself, like, what? A garbage tax? No, it's already hard out here. But for some reason, how you think that garbage just disappears? Like, you put it outside every day. Like, St. Martin is the only place, like the Dutch side is the only place whereby you put your garbage out tonight and it disappears. You know, in some countries, they have particular days where garbage is picked up. In some countries, you literally would have to go and throw your garbage away yourself. But St. Martin's so spoiled. You put it on the side of the road, man. The garbage hauler's going to pass it, and they ain't going to just leave it on the side because then they're going to look bad. So you put a little sofa outside. You put a little washing machine. Who's going to... You put a little old TV. You know, that old fridge that don't work no more. So you just put it quickly by the bin, and then you run away because they're going to disappear. And who has to come and clean it? And if it's there too long, look how this government got the place looking so dirty, because it must be Sarah Westcott washing machine. What going on? Is all the parliamentarians and the ministers' appliances to be outside? Who got to get rid of it? The politicians? And the question of, yeah, okay, what are we going to do with the dump? And the dump is so horrible. Meanwhile, we're just throwing garbage left, right, and center out of the car while you're driving. Oh, somebody going to pick it up. It's going to disappear. It's going to fix itself. Because St. Martin is a nice, beautiful island. Sometimes it's okay to pick up after yourself. I saw the press briefing after I saw it. I even see the minister after, and I told him, hey, you know, while I don't like your party necessarily, I think it was a very bold statement to say, how are you going to blame me for having the washing machine out there when it ain't mine? It's my responsibility to clean up after you. I find it's very bold to make, but it's the truth though. I'm just saying. Like, yes, it's cocky. Yes, they could have smoothed around the edges and say it in a nice way because they literally are public servants, but they're not your servant. You don't get to throw things on the road and you see Patrice Gums or Luke Messalina come in and going like, because you voted for me. Who got clean up after you? Welcome to Late Night Show. We have a good one for you. Let's begin.
New Gen. She my gang. Let's get ready for the party. Girl, why you body? Get ready for the party. Girl, why you body? Let's get ready for the party. Girl, why you body? Get ready for the party. Girl, why you body? Where the party tonight? Someone tell me where the party tonight. Where the party tonight? Someone tell me where the party tonight. Where the party tonight? When we come in our bed, tick tock, girl, wine to your head. Anytime I see a girl, you want to get wet. Burn like a cigarette, bend down, dagger next. Slap up on your body, girl, shake up your leg. Burn like a cigarette, bend down, dagger next. Slap up on your body, girl, shake. Everybody get mad now.
Great job, Carl. Thank you. Jeremy, come on up. For the final word in the Spelling Bee Championship, please spell insurance.
Insurance. N-A-G-I-C-O. Insurance.
That's correct. I hope your father can spell Najiko too.
Najiko is insurance. Insurance is Najiko.
At GEBE, we take the safety and quality of your water seriously. Every day, our dedicated sample collectors venture into the field, visiting the places that matter to you: water tanks, school, supermarkets, home, and high-risk areas. Once these samples return to our water quality lab at KB, they embark on a journey that safeguards your well-being. Our dedicated analysts take over, sending these samples to the microbiology and chemistry department, respectively. This is where the magic happens. We test for a range of parameters, and we do this every single day, no matter what, including holidays and weekends. In our microbiology department, we focus on two major tests targeting various bacteria. Confirmation tests are conducted, and we have plans in place in case the results are confirmed. And then we do it all over again, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Rain or shine, your water safety never takes a day off. So when you turn on the tap and enjoy a glass of GEBE's water, you can do so with confidence. GEBE, the power to serve.
Have you been good? Have you been behaving? Because if not, you might end up on court TV. And you don't want to end up on court TV. Late night segment, Court TV by the Big Al.
Another edition of Court TV. I would like to remind everybody these are real stories, real cases, real people. So please, hold it in. Let's start off with the reason a lot of people come to court: no education. SFOBA loses another court battle in a long-running bid for higher subsidies. Let's go. The Court of First Instance has once again rejected the request of Foundation for Secondary Education, called SFOBA, which is the school board of Sundial School and all the NPC schools, for increased government subsidies, marking the second legal defeat in 2 years. Defeat, a school losing. Defeat in 2 years for the school board in its bid to secure more financial support. So what it tells me is that the school, it says in a bid, but really it's the school taking government to court. Yeah, okay. The latest ruling issued last month is part of SFOBA's decade-long struggle to get more funding to run its two secondary schools, Milton Peters College and Sundial School. The foundation aims at the government's current system of allocating subsidies based on student numbers and class sizes fails to meet the school's needs and has led to budget deficits in a number of years. Okay. The most recent court case focused on the 2019-2021 academic years, during which SFOBA received a total of approximately 35.8 million guilders. 35.8 million guilders in subsidies, according to court documents. SFOBA's lawyers argued that this was barely enough to cover the actual expenses of its roughly 160 member staff, and there was insufficient money left over to pay for other things, such as building maintenance, employee training, materials, and supplies. Yeah, we all know the teacher has been buying paper and toilet paper and all kind of paper for years, so we know this is an issue. SFOBA's lawyer, however, the court dismissed SFOBA's case, dismissed it, ruling that while the government's so-called lump sum system was frugal, it was not unlawful or unable to ensure an adequate level of education, a technicality. Although the National Ordinance on Secondary Education stipulates that school subsidies must relate to personnel expenses, the court ruled that this does not mean that a school's total personnel expenses have to be reimbursed. The obligation to reimburse actual personnel expenses would remove any incentive to organize education in such a way that the education of sufficient quality can be provided with as few personnel as possible. It was stated in the verdict by the court. Under the lump sum system, schools also receive a yearly amount of 180 guilders per teacher to cover training, as well as 175 guilders per student for office supplies and 425 guilders per student for school supplies such as notebooks and pens. So the school receive all of that, but we still just have to buy books. So, okay, anyway. The court ruled that SFOBA had not been able to prove that the funds were not enough to cover these expenses. The standard amount of 180 guilders per teacher per year applies to the entire teaching staff and should be sufficient for additional training, provided that this training is properly planned and priorities are set, the court said. Additionally, there's Special Professional Development Fund at the Ministry of Education, Culture, Youth, and Sports. However, the court noted that SFOBA did not have staff training planned for 2019 to 2021 and never submitted an application to have required financial resources to provide proper additional training. So, yeah, you got bum flick. SFOBA also had an issue with government funds only paying 3 positions on the school board, which it claimed were too few to properly supervise the running of its 2 schools and their combined 1,200 students. Let's just leave it at that. But the court rejected this claim too because the government only has a legal obligation to pay the salaries of school staff and not school board members. Bum flick number 2. In 10 years, only the plaintiff, SFOBA, has approached the court, which is the indication that the lump sum system does not lead to insurmountable financial problems for other secondary schools, the court said in its verdict. However, the court did advise SFOBA to enter into discussions with Education Ministry to talk about what options the system offers, whether additional compensation is possible, what is required to qualify for the additional compensation. So basically the court tell them, give them a runaround. Basically, we call that the runaround. Okay. As long as the actual expenses per year are higher than the granted subsidies, SFOBA will have to use its financial resources, your own effing money, as efficiently as possible. The court said in its verdict, this is part of the responsibility that comes with making use of a lump sum on an annual basis. The court noted that the last evaluation of the lump sum system was in 2014 and advised government to evaluate the system and correct any imperfections. The court, 2014, 10 years ago though, we've had a hurricane, 3 pandemics, and a whole 4-year government since then. Okay. The court also had specific advice for government and SFOBA, which has contested amount of its subsidy in almost every academic year since the system was introduced in 2010. The employees of the Ministry of Education may be expected to think along with SFOBA about how to make optimal use of the possibilities within the system, including options for additional compensation due to special circumstances, it was stated in the verdict. So I just find the court got a lot to say. Like this is like some education and ministry Beth going on, and I find the court have a big opinion. Anyway, SFOBA's lawyers use much of the same arguments in this recent legal battles has been brought forward in the case covered in the 2014 to 2019 academic years. The court first, a whole set of high schoolers graduate from 2014 to 2019. A whole set of students come into school and leave the school. And that's how long they're fighting for this. SFOBA's lawyers use much of the same argument. The court of first instance dismissed SFOBA's claims here too. In its verdict in October 2022, the foundation appealed the ruling, but the Joint Court of Justice has yet to render a verdict. In 2014, the court of first instance in a provisional judgment ordered the government to actually ordered the government to pay SFOBA an additional 150,000 guilders per month on top of its existing subsidy. In a court hearing 2 months earlier, SFOBA's lawyer said that the foundation faced bankruptcy unless the Education Ministry provided 4.5 million guilders in funding. Woo! Yo! Wow. I mean, yeah, it's not an easy job to be a school board or to be a minister. I mean, or ministry, because I mean, imagine they say, we're going to take 1,200 students are at risk of no school if you don't hit us with our 4.5. If you can't run that 4.5, we will close the school. But thank God, teachers are angels, and a new rule, teachers need to be paid like doctors. Done. This ain't even election season. I'm just saying it as it is. New rule. My mother was a teacher. My grandmother was a teacher. My sister's a teacher. And my wife tried to teach me things all the time. Pay them. Okay, moving on. Next case. St. Martin cannot refuse re-entry to expel foreigners of good conduct. What? This is not a test. Okay, let's read the article. Now let's read the court documents. Oh. As long as an undocumented person in St. Martin has no criminal charges filed against him, she cannot be refused re-entry to the island after having been expelled based on illegal stay. What y'all say? Say that again. As long as an undocumented person in St. Martin has no criminal charges filed against him, he cannot be refused re-entry to the island after having been expelled, deported, based on illegal stay. Applicable laws lack a legal basis to declare foreign nationals as undesirable or to impose a re-entry ban, the court concluded in a recent immigration case. This is for real. All of you, listen, I mean, a ton of people, you got friend. You got a little ex, you got somebody get deported or whatever, They're saying that they could come back immediately, basically. So imagine you in the immigration lock up and you're like, yo, let's make that round trip. I'll be right back. Okay. The court perused the National Ordinance on Admission and Expulsion and Admission Decree, which allow for the removal of undocumented persons from the island, specifically under Article 19 of the LTU St. Martin. However, the deportation order from the Minister of Justice may not include a re-entry ban, nor state that the person is undesirable as a visitor to the island, the court concluded. Yes, people. So that basically means, without saying much, without pointing fingers, without giving signs, that if you are deported and they ain't got no case against you, you could just come back and do it all over again. The case was brought by a Haitian man, who entered St. Martin in 2016 with a Curacao ID card and a Haitian passport. In 2019, his permanent residency in Curacao was revoked due to his absence from the island, and his application for temporary residency in Curacao was denied in May 2019. The Mobile Control Unit of St. Martin stopped and questioned the claimant on July 3rd, 2023, and he was unable to present a valid residency document. Valid to St. Martin, of course. Subsequently, then Minister of Justice Anna Richardson issued two orders, a detention order to hold the claimant and a deportation order classifying the claimant as an undesirable alien, accompanied by a 3-year entry ban. Lord, I know, Lord. Undesirable? That's that kind of harsh, though. I mean, I ain't saying he an angel, but calling somebody undesirable alien, that's a little rough. I don't think I'm gonna invite that. Let me just take that off from there. I just think it's just the paperwork, right? So this is how the Dutch call him. The claimant was detained for 2 weeks and removed. So on top of that, 2 weeks in jail, whole lot. On top of that, was detained for 2 weeks and removed from St. Martin in mid-July 2023, right? Okay. He was sent to Haiti as his request for repatriation to Curacao instead of Haiti had been denied. Lord. So Jean-Philippe want to go home to Curacao, right? And he telling me can't go Curacao, no bombini for him in Curacao, so he have to. He ain't going to Hato, he going to Haiti. You check what's going on here, okay. The court noted that the decision on the country of removal is fact-based and depends on available travel documents and cooperation from the destination country. Okay, so if he ain't got no paperwork saying Curacao, how we sending him Curacao? I get that. Good work, Anna. It was determined that the Minister of Justice was authorized to issue the deportation order. Of course she was. However, the deportation order declared the claimant an undesirable alien and imposed a 3-year re-entry ban. To be fair, he was kind of looking for it. I mean, he done already, it's illegal in Curacao, and it comes to St. Martin to be more illegal in St. Martin, because in St. Martin it's just gonna happen. And I do remember the good minister, the honorable minister at the time, was trying to, she didn't use the right words. I think she used words like clean up and words like that. But she was, we actually knew what she was trying to do. She was trying to get immigration under control. And this, look what happened. Come back to say these kind of words. It's not fair. Anyway, the court noted that the decision on the country was fact-based. I got through that. However, the deportation order declared the claimant an undesirable alien, and the court ruled on August 5th that there is no legal basis for these measures and instructed that the deportation must be annulled for being in violation of the order. While other territories in the Kingdom of the Netherlands have specific regulations on the undesirables and the undesirability declaration and re-entry ban, such provisions are not explicitly present in the LTU in St. Martin. We need to say in St. Martin we could run amok, as we've been running amok, and we don't have the laws to really back it up. The LTU does not contain any clauses allowing the Minister of Justice to declare someone undesirable or impose a re-entry ban from removals under Article 19. There you go. For the Minister of Justice, this ruling has far-reaching consequences. The decision implies that until the law is amended, the Minister of Justice cannot declare foreign nationals as unwanted. It is up to the legislator of St. Martin to amend the LTU St. Martin and admission decree. When they say legislator, they mean Parliament, okay? If desired, to include provisions that clearly state whether the powers of expulsion and removal can be combined with a declaration of undesirability or a re-entry ban, and if so, under what conditions. A basis for delegation can be included, allowing the admission decree, blah, 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 blah. Basically, yeah, there's a free-for-all until they fix this in Parliament. That's basically what's going on right now, because the minister can deport you, but if you don't have an issue with the po-po, basically, they can't label you undesirable. I know that's good for the esteem of a lot of us. And they cannot give you a re-entry ban. So go come back. See you next week. Nurse accused of using sedatives to sexually assault his patients facing 4.5 years in prison. 4.5? Double that. One time. Anyway, a male nurse is facing 54 months in, well, he's facing, so he's accused. I'm sorry. Let me take that back. He's not guilty yet. They say, they say everybody is innocent until proven guilty. So let me take all that energy back. If we could just start over. Us? Okay, good. A male nurse is facing 54 months in prison for allegedly drugging 2 young female patients at SMMC and touching them inappropriately while they were in a semi-conscious state. Double that again. R.I.J. Pay stood trial in the court of first instance on Wednesday, charged with 3 counts of sexual assault involving female patients at the hospital between July 22 and April 2024, in addition to the 2 who were allegedly given the powerful sedative midazolam. Midazolam? Are you serious? This is a real name? Midazolam? Can't make this up. Anyway, the 3rd count on the defendant's indictment seems from a young woman who told the investigation that she had waken up in the middle of the night to pee the dude, touching her private parts. She was 17 years old at the time and had been admitted to the hospital following a suicide attempt. Jesus Christ. You mean, Mamselle done already don't want to be here, and then she got to wake up to die? Listen, how much years I give him? Like I give him 20? No, I give him 4.5 times 2. Carry the 4, that's 9. Let's just throw down 18 for now. Let's just allegedly that he's not guilty. Let's see how not guilty he is. Because you know what? We don't have time to fool around. We're going to just get straight to it. She was 17 years old. Okay, a box of midazolam vials had been found in a search of P's home in early May. This drug often used to sedate people in intensive care units or as a precursor to surgical anesthesia, causes sleepiness, muscle weakness, and memory loss. Lord, y'all screen these people? Y'all screen ministers but you don't screen these people? You gave him a drug called midazolam, and you telling me this drug does erase memory? This is not funny, it's a real case, okay? Midazolam can start working in as little as 5 minutes when administered via intravenous drip. And this dude got the line up to the drip. He got all the drip. And according to the prosecutor, a therapeutic dose can only be detected in the blood or urine for 6 to 12 hours. I've never touched any patient, he said. I've never touched any patient, he said. Told the court on Wednesday, saying he did not know why the women had accused. You didn't know why? You didn't have a clue? No clue? None at all. Nothing. The police put on the cuffs. No reason. Finding midazolam in your house. No reason. Nothing was a red flag for you that you have no idea what's going on. All right, buddy. They accused him of sexual assault. He also claimed that one of them had been hallucinating. P's lawyer, Shira Bummel, you a good lawyer. I just want to say that. You're a damn good lawyer. Argued that there was not enough evidence for a conviction and pleaded for her client's full acquittal. However, the prosecutor considered P guilty as charged and demanded 4.5 years in prison and a 9.5-year ban from working around people in the healthcare sector. That seems fair. The judge will render a verdict on September 24th. Sick and appalling headline. The prosecutor argued that the striking similarities of the victim's statements painted a clear and consistent picture on how P violated the faith and trust of these women in a sick and appalling manner. 2 victims testified that P had come into their hospital rooms to change their IV drips sometimes after 9 p.m. and they soon had begun to feel dizzy, sleepy, and strange. Real strange. Both claimed P then had tried to kiss them and touch them private parts with his hands and mouth. One victim, who said she had been in and out of sleep, told investigators that she even had witnessed P satisfying himself. Ugh! During a moment of consciousness. This is going on in a hospital. One said she had told P no, while the other said she had been unable to move and could not push him off because obviously she paralyzed. Obviously she can't move, so she won't push him off. One said, the prosecutor then argued that these detailed and authentic statements are supported by other witnesses who attest to the women being upset shortly after the sexual assault. Imagine that happened to you. You completely sedated. You can't even put your face to look as upset as you want to look. For how many hours? 6 hours? I can't even grill, so but inside I'm so upset. I hope this guy, I hope they throw away the key of this dude. Anyway, presumably still innocent. Although P denies violating the women, he did confirm that he had changed their IV drips. The prosecutor told the court, adding that one of his workers had seen him attending to one of the women on the night of the alleged attack. A victim's urine had been tested for drugs a day after the alleged sexual assault, but the results came back negative because, 6 hours passed already. Now, however, the prosecutor argued that he did not prove she had not been drugged, pointing to a report from the toxicology expert at the Dutch Forensic Institute who said midazolam can only be detected in the first 12 hours after being given. Haha. As for the midazolam found in P's home, the prosecutor noted that P's ex-girlfriend, had testified that she had found the box while clearing out his belongings from her home in February, because she done get rid of him, and had returned it to him in early April. Wait, I don't understand. She had found the box while clearing out his belongings from her home in February. So she found it from February, hold on to them, and give it to him in April. The ex-girlfriend told investigators that P had previously been living with her for years. I wonder how she remember that. She get that one? Yeah, that was an answer joke. Leave that one there. Rommel disputed the prosecutor's claim that the midazolam cannot be detected after 12 hours, pointing out that some laboratories assert that drugs can be found in urine for up to 2 days. Good lawyer. She also argued that evidence cannot concretely prove that the women were drugged at all, lest by her client. P was arrested on May 6th on suspicions of sexually abuse only one of his patients, but at the time, police and the prosecutor's office issued a call for more victims to come forward. According to Baumel, a social media group of nearly 1,000 people had also formed around this time, which had named P and circulated his photo. Which say, Martin get you now. Innocent or not, you guilty. Say Martin catch you, you learn something here. He can't be from here because he would have known he in trouble. With this, my client already convicted of the crime. Right, good lawyer, I told you, she understand. Told the court, she said these factors had influenced the testimony of the earliest victim, who she noted only gave a statement on May 7, despite her allegations stemming from almost 2 years before. Early in the trial, P told the court that he had accidentally taken the box of midazolam home from work one day. Box of midazolam, right? Earlier in the trial, so he said he had the drug in his pocket because they had a patient on the ward suffering from severe seizures, and he had to be ready at a moment's notice to inject the person. He claimed that he had returned the box to the hospital shortly after his then ex-girlfriend had handed it to them. No amount enough. How much money? How much money? One of the victims submitted a claim of 14,000 United States dollars for material and immaterial damages during Wednesday's trial, but no amount would be enough to make up for her pain and her fear, for real. Her lawyer, Shamira Roseberg, good lawyer too, told the court. The woman was seated next to Roseberg and two family members, and with a cracking voice and tears in her eyes, said a few words to the judge. These are the words she said. "It's really been hard," she said. "I tried to put a smile on my face, but this showed me how easy it is for someone to do that to you." New rule, get a smile like 30 years, and just let's call that a day. This was Court TV. These were real court cases, real people. And if you happen to know them, this time was just jokes. Peace. In a special news report brought to you by Real Auto BV, the official Toyota distributor for St. Martin. Real Auto St. Martin has issued an urgent safety recall for Toyota vehicles due to the Takata airbag defect. This recall affects popular models like the RAV4, Yaris, Corolla, and Hilux, manufactured between 2004 and 2013. These defective airbags pose serious risk, including severe injury or death. Toyota owners are urged to visit RealAutoSXM.com or contact Real Auto SXM immediately to schedule a free airbag replacement. Stay safe, act now.
Hello, my people. Make sure you tune in to Sit, Sip, and Chat every Monday at 5 p.m. on TV 15 and every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m.
And make sure tune in to the Late Night Show with Andrew Dick from Monday to Friday at 10 p.m. with a repeat in the afternoon for no reason. In the afternoon, the Late Night Show at 3 p.m. Thank you, TV 15.
Thank you, TV 15. Make sure to tune in
Make sure to tune in to the Late Night.
and Sit, Sip, and Chat.
Late Night.
Oh, hey, did you know I just signed up for Flex by Telem?
Do you mean flex like this?
Definitely not that.
Do you mean flex like this?
No, definitely not that.
Do you mean flex like this?
No, definitely not Flex like that. Telem's Flex is a mobile plan that adapts to your needs. Each month, I get a preset monthly fee that has a set amount of data, SMS, and minutes. So I know what I'm getting. But say goodbye to overages and bill shock, because when I go over my postpaid plan, it switches to prepaid. So I have the flexibility to top up what I need when I need it. I'm in complete control. My budget, my rules.
time for your flashback. Flashback. Bling. Subscribe. All right. Make sure take a look at this. It aged so well.
Flashback.
Welcome to a special edition of the Late Night Show with Andrew Dick. Of course, it is all about the case that everybody has been waiting for, and that is Sylvia Jacobs, the Prime Minister of St. Martin, versus Olivier Arenel, the businessman who has been very vocal on social media for the past 6 months. And of course, recently he has been making some serious allegations and some serious videos, 6-minute videos to be exact, against the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister decided to, as an individual, take Mr. Arenel to court in a civil case. Again, this is a civil case, not a criminal case, because a person can bring a person to the court of first instance unless it's the prosecutor office. So it was a civil case, and in the civil case it was for many of the videos that Mr. Arenel has done. Too much to mention, but just to mention a few. The Prime Minister was accused of being molested when she was younger. She also was accused of having some type of business partnership with the Dwayne Corbin real estate agency, who did swindle a couple of clients from some monies when it comes to their apartments. Also, the Prime Minister was accused of being corrupt and having numerous business dealings with different ministers in her cabinet, and also sexual harassment while she's working. A number of female workers left the cabinet because they were so-called harassed. That was also one of the videos, of the many videos that Mr. Arenel have posted in his private group chat. But is it private? And that was the question that was answered today in the courts of first instance. It started at 2:30 p.m. and a number of persons supporting the Prime Minister and Mr. Arenel were seen outside the courthouse. But as far as the Council of Ministers is concerned, a number of ministers were present. I saw Minister Samuel, Minister of Justice Anna Richardson. I even saw Minister Duran, and of course the Minister of BSR, Minister of Everything, Omar Otley, was also present. Now, of course, during the case, the person that is suing, or that I should say that is accusing Mr. Olivier of slander, is Sylvia Jacobs, the individual, not the Prime Minister. So Country St. Martin did not pay for the case. She paid it out of her own pocket, as she had mentioned during the court case. Melina Hoover is the lawyer for the Prime Minister, and the Prime Minister lawyer started her arguments in English, representing Mr. Olivier Arenel, who was not in the court proceedings, even though he was expected to be via video link from Congo. He told his lawyer that he was not able to connect, and therefore the lawyer did ask the judge for a continuation or postponement of the case. However, the judge quickly shut that down, and the case began with Ms. Hoover giving her opening statement, basically indicating and reciting some of the words from Mr. Olivier's videos, the many videos that he's made, and also the Facebook page that also publishes these videos. So there's record of them, and the number of videos were sent to the court as evidence also for Ms. Jacobs to show the slander that Mr. Arenel has been doing. Of course, Ms. Hoover wants proof, and in getting the proof, so-called proof, from Mr. Hassman, the lawyer of Mr. Arenell. Basically, the proof was 4 news articles from the Daily Herald and the Ombudsman report of 2022 dealing with the garbage collection, a damning report against the Minister of Romy, Egbert Duran, and we all know how that went. So it's just to give you an indication that the court case did go started on time, and they did go ahead, and the case will begin. And of course, after this break, we will then give you the outcome of the first part, or I should say the second part of the court case today. The court room in Phillipsburg was full. There were a number of politicians there, like I said, and it was more of a slander case than a freedom of speech case. It had to do with the allegations that Mr. Arenell made against Severa Jacobs, the politician, Severa Jacobs, the Prime Minister, and the videos that has been circulating amongst the community for quite some time during this election period. So the case was handled by Ms. Hoover, who said that it's not a freedom of speech situation. It's more of a saying something without having any proof to it. And now that you're asking for proof, the only proof that you can present is news articles from the Daily Herald and an Ombudsman report that does not mention Severa Jacobs, the Prime Minister of St. Martin. Therefore, it's already shown that Mr. Arenell don't have any proof against her client. Mr. Hatzman, in his deliberation, said that, he basically mentioned Duran. He mentioned Utley and then Duran and Utley again. He read some of the Ombudsman report. He read some of the newspaper articles, and basically, he also admitted that he told his client that the molestation and sexual harassment allegations made by him was going too far. So he had no defense in that. So that means he's going to be automatically liable for those statements because, of course, the Prime Minister is asking for a retraction video, an apology video, and also for the fine of $5,000 a day until these videos and retractions are made. So that's the synopsis of the first part of the case. When we come back, we give you the second half in front of the Phillipsburg court case. Late Night Show with Andrew Dick. Of course, it's a interesting Friday, and let's wait to see what happens. Let's begin.
1 hour later.
Okay, so the Minister of Justice just left. Also, the Minister of Romy, Egbert Duran, also left. We know that the Minister of VSA is also present at the courthouse. A number of ministers, members of the Council of Ministers are present here at the courthouse. And of course, yes, Prime Minister Severa Jacobs coming out of the courthouse. She leaves. Of course, the Prime Minister's detail is getting ready to escort her out of the courthouse. A leader of the United People's Party, Rolando Bryson, is also present, along with some members of the United People's Party, and of course the Prime Minister is there, as the case will be decided in the next 3 weeks. The Prime Minister did make a statement. We're going to talk about that.
And everything gonna be resumed
This is Jacob. Yeah.
Not show up today, by the way, but we're still able to send our videos and all sorts of things.
And make Facebook posts and make fun of what he's created here in St. Martin. Yes, it's very
Yes, in your statement, I know that yes, I was. So I did hear the statement. Very passionate. Can you give at least the public your take, your version for them, because they wasn't allowed to hear that.
Like, first of all, I want to say that my good name, when I stepped into this arena, people said, don't get involved because politics is dirty. But I said that if all good people stand on the side, nothing will change. And so that's why I got involved. My integrity has always been above board. Nobody can point a finger to me to say I've ever done anything. And if that is the defense for my corruption, then I'm really waiting to see what this judge will hand down in 3 weeks' time, because nothing was stated. Oh God. Nothing was stated in that, it made in that statement that could in any way point a finger to my corruption. But I have been politically persecuted, whether he's speaking about one person or the next, to state that I'm involved. Anybody he sees anything against, he adds my name to it. And is that now what St. Martin politics has become? Everybody who wants to be part of politics, postulation day is on the 22nd of November. You had until October the 13th, I believe, to register your party. That's where you do it. You don't stay from outside and try to control ministers, try to become board members to control a government-owned company. No, you come into government, you put yourself on a slate and you do the work.
And no endorsement then. So we won't be accepting no endorsement.
Endorsements. What I care about is that you're creating a new kind of politics on St. Martin where everything goes. No. That is not how we conduct politics on St. Martin. We run on our platform. Even if you hear the melee, it is never used as if it's real news. Right now, you are inciting people to violence, and now everybody has to live differently on St. Martin. That is not the way. That is not the way. St. Martin is a free country, and freedom of speech could never, ever contravene my freedom for my integrity and my good name. So you're talking about two different rights, and it's clearly described in Article 10. And St. Martin subscribes to that, and I ask the people to be patient. Be patient. Yes, some of us are suffering, but do not listen to the rantings based on lies and make decisions that will end up being like a January 6th in the United States. Because today, Trump will have to stand trial. You understand what I'm saying? So following somebody making statements that are not relevant to me specifically, because I can only speak for myself, and I'm seeing now that you're calling people to come out here and talk about GB and talk about other things that are going in the country. This is not what this is about. And this government has the people of St. Martin first and foremost. So thank you for the opportunity.
That is it for the Late Night Show. Thank you so much for watching. Until tomorrow, do have a safe and pleasant one.